DHS Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs, Tricia McLaughlin, is with us now. So I want to put that video back on that we just showed of this van. The agents had stopped at an intersection, and you see this rather large van swing around the agents that were stopped. That's not what this video is. I'm not sure what that. Here's the video we're looking for. Watch this. They're there. They get out of their cars. This van swings around everything, just about grazes the officers there, and takes off with a couple of federal vehicles in hot pursuit. That prompted a dangerous high-speed chase through a neighborhood. In the apprehension, an officer was injured. Here's what DHS said. The perpetrator has prior arrests for resisting law enforcement, public disturbance, and intoxication, disruptive conduct. And then there was that other ramming issue today in a parking lot. I mean, this is another example of people taking to heart what a lot of opponents of these operations have said, and that is do anything possible to get into ICE's way.
Oh, absolutely. And just yesterday, as you mentioned, that law enforcement officer was injured. I was on the phone with law enforcement immediately after this ramming incident. They said it was one of the most intense and harrowing chases they'd ever been a part of. And this the driver was running over the curb. There was a very high volume of traffic in this area. It was putting public safety at risk and not just law enforcement. But then again, we saw it again today, another U.S. citizen. This was, we're still getting more information as this just happened about an hour ago. But this individual looks like he was a transgender individual who was part of some sort of anti-ICE group. And as soon as we have more information on that, we'll make sure it becomes available to you.
What I find very curious about the opposition to these operations is that you have some protests that are definitely organized.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we saw those in Charlotte over the weekend as well. A lot of people gathered together. They had signs. They were marching. And then there are these ad hoc attacks by somebody just driving a vehicle who says, I'm going to ram into ICE.
We're seeing both, right? We're seeing those lone wolf attacks, but then we're also seeing these highly professionalized, highly organized protesters who will move from city to city. They might be in Portland one day and Chicago the next, Los Angeles. And that's really why President Trump and Secretary Noem have ordered this whole of government approach to follow that money. Where is this coming from? Who is paying for the travel for these individuals? Who's paying and footing the bill for the violence we're seeing against our ICE law enforcement officers?
Right. So Operation Charlotte's Web, from a DHS standpoint, has been very successful so far. 130 apprehensions at least over the first couple of days. And Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said it's not going to stop just at apprehending criminal illegal aliens. Listen to what he said.
We're going to focus on the worst of the worst, but we're also going to make sure if you're here in the country legally, we're going to get you out. And to the employers who employ and attract a lot of these illegal aliens that come in and steal American jobs, we're going to focus on those American companies as well.
Now, there's all of these protests to say, OK, you're not just focusing on criminal illegal aliens. You're focusing on folks who are just in this country illegally. You're focusing now on employers. But this is exactly what the Obama administration did in 2012, 2013, 2014. They went after criminal, they prioritized criminal illegal aliens. But they deported a lot of other people, too.
Exactly.
Who were just in the country illegally, and there wasn't a huge hue and cry from the left about that.
If you're in this country illegally, you made two choices, not just to enter the country illegally or stay in the country illegally, but now you have a choice as well. You can leave now, take a $1,000 exit bonus, free flight home, and then potentially return the right legal way. But if you don't, the message is very clear. We will arrest you, but I also think that there are more facts here as well. There's about 1,400 criminal illegal aliens that right now are in North Carolina in Charlotte's jails that they refuse to turn over to ICE law enforcement. If those sanctuary city politicians would work with us and actually let us into their jails to take out these MS-13 gang members, murderers, serial child rapists, which I've seen these lists of people, they are heinous individuals who are in these jails. If they are released back into Charlotte and not turned over to ICE, they will go on to re-perpetuate crimes.
Right. And as you say that, you're getting pushback from city and county officials. Here's what they said. The expected U.S. Customs and Border Protection's operations are causing unnecessary fear and uncertainty in our community, as recent operations in other cities have resulted in people without criminal records being detained and violent protests being the result of unwarranted actions. We stand with all the residents who simply want to go about their lives. But if, as you say, they've got all of these criminal illegal aliens populating their jails, and I don't know if Mecklenburg County and Charlotte are sanctuary cities or they're just operating
as such.
As such. why would they want to keep these criminals in their cities and potentially release them, as you pointed out, back onto the streets?
It's truly nonsensical, John. But I think that the really answer is that they should be working with ICE law enforcement, particularly in those jails. We're yet to see if that'll actually happen, though.
Right. So from Charlotte, we're understanding, we had Jeff Landry on a little bit earlier. New Orleans is the next city that you're probably going to go into.
TBD, but I will say about Charlotte, and this is what the local leadership is leaving out of the equation, is the fact that it is an epicenter for human trafficking. They're ranked number 9 in the country. They also have a massive gang problem. It's also become a major hub for gangs, especially MS-13. That's part of why we're seeing that human and labor trafficking. They have a very advantageous, I guess I should say, highway system as far as I-95 and other major hubs that make it easy to travel from Florida to New York. So this becomes a hub spot for that human trafficking.
You know, I remember years ago, Charlotte was like the jewel of the South, you know, the center for banking, and now it's just
and it still can be
seemingly gone so wrong in so many ways.
It still can be, but our law enforcement is getting to work, and where these leaders are failing, our law enforcement will step up.
And we saw that poor Ukrainian woman who was killed on the LRT. Just crazy. Trish, great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Sandra?
Breaking. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.